Hi guys, welcome to another episode of SEB'S SMS. Conflict. How do you deal with conflict? Why are you running away from conflict? Why are you so comfortable with conflict? That's the message that I'm sending you. So guys, I'm sending you this message. You better catch it.
Sebastian Bassong is now very much the Anglophile. I'm sending you a message. You better catch it. But when it comes to the football,
Yo, what's happening? Guys, talk to me. How are you feeling? Listen, on the back of last week, I'm really pumped up because I've even self-energized myself with the, underdog mentality, the underdog thing. So for those of you who haven't watched it, just go back one episode and just have a look in order for you to be ready for this Saturday morning session. I'm great, you're great, I'm sure you are. So let's get straight into it, guys, because I'm very energized. Conflict. I told you, how do you deal with conflict? What does conflict represent for you? Because there's a lot of time people, they're just, not comfortable. And I want you, first and foremost, I want you to assess yourself and be honest with yourself. Please, be honest with yourself. When you're gonna assess yourself, self-assessment, remember, self-assessment is very crucial. The problem with a lot of us is our ability to self-assess. We think we are a certain level while we're not. And when you're not at this level, you get it wrong. So you're starting from the wrong foot. So I want you to self-assess honestly. Where are you when we talk about conflict, dealing with problems? Is it negative? Why does it have such a negative sound for you? If that's the case, ask yourself why. And I want you to pay attention to the way you deal with that situation. When a problem, a conflict, whether it's with yourself, that's the hardest conflict. The one we have with ourselves are the hardest to deal with, because we don't really know how to get to them. But when you have a conflict with somebody else, whether it's somebody at work, somebody in your team, somebody in your family, that's different situation for you to deal with this conflict. Are you upfront with the conflict? Are you comfortable with the problem that has been caused? Because let me tell you, there's different ways to look at them. And I don't want you to be cocky, you know what, I ain't got no problem. No. If every time you have a conflict, your heart is beating 100 miles an hour, listen, you're not as comfortable. I'm not saying you're not gonna deal with it, but how soon are you gonna deal with that problem? I got a friend of mine, shout out to him, my BMC co-host, Q. He said he loves to address problems. And that's the fact. If you do love to address problems when you have a conflict, that means that you got quite comfortable. Why? But I want you to ask yourself why, and let me tell you why. Because you might be more likely to think about the end result. When I deal with conflict and confrontation and problems, I'm thinking about the next step. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to, to be rude, to offend anybody. I'm just trying to sort a situation out. I like clarity. So in order for me to get result in anything I'm doing, I have to sort the problem out. So the conflict itself doesn't scare me because I'm thinking that on the back of that, there's the promised land. There's some amazing opportunities as soon as we get things sorted. So because I know that you might not think the same way as I do, you might not see the situation the same way as I do. So how are we gonna do? We have to sort that out. But on the flip side, if you are somebody who kind of run away from the conflict, what are you running away from? That's the question I want you to ask yourself. What are you running away from? What scares you that much? I don't think that's the person opposite than you, but maybe the outcome. The outcome, you don't want to piss nobody up. You don't want to be in somebody's bad books. You rather be in somebody's good books. And that's why, you don't want no problem. So as soon as you see a kind of a confrontation, conflict, you kind of pretend you're taking your phone. Hello, you're running away. You vanish, you leave in the room. You can't deal with conflict. But in that sense, if you can't elevate your ability to deal with conflict, confrontation, problems, you're not going to be able to achieve and execute to the highest level. You will have to go through that. But in order for those of you who are not comfortable with conflict, I want you to just take a deep breath and think about the worst case scenario. What would be the worst case scenario? Me and you don't agree on that, but it's not personal. There's nothing to do with who you are. And that doesn't define the way people are gonna like you or dislike you. We're just focusing on one subject, one matter, one situation itself. You do isolate the situation. Don't get it twisted. Don't get sucked into this old emotional, like roller coaster. Because that's what happened to you. You think that you're so much into that person. You want to feel good with that person. You want that person and you to have the best experience. Therefore, you're feeling that, okay, if I go against that person, if I go straight into the conflict, I solve and I address the problem, your relationship might be affected. But that's not the case. If you do, I want you to try. If you do try, make a test. Don't any small conflict that you're sure that nothing bad's gonna come out of it. When you just pick a situation, a person that you're comfortable with, and you having a disagreement, so a sort of a conflict, problems of opinion, different opinion, and I want you to address it straight away. And you would be surprised about the response of that person and about how your relationship might elevate itself. So I want you, and for those of you who loves conflict, who love to be in this battle, be careful. I want you to be careful because there's a difference between sorting problem out because you're thinking about the next move, you're thinking about the result, you're thinking about your tribe, your community, your people, and you want them to feel good, and you don't want anything bad, a bad environment to create himself. That's the difference between that and be willing to bully somebody, be willing to be on top of somebody and go create the conflict, create the disagreement. Because at the end of the day, if you are in a company, in your job, in your family, in your household, in your team, you're supposed to be on the same side. Different opinion create an emulation. Different opinion make success, create, growth. Yeah, you can be mismatched. Are you match or mismatch? That's what I was gonna say. Because I'm mismatched. But me being mismatched doesn't mean that I never agree with people. My side of being mismatched means that I want to add value because maybe I disagree with you just because maybe you haven't thought about a certain perspective. So that's why I don't really agree with you. Not because I want to be, a pain in the butt, but I want to add value. So when I come and deal with conflict the way I want to deal with conflict, is always keep in mind to add value and not to be on top of people. Because your ability to deal with conflict and solving problem is a blessing, is a gift. It's your superpower. However, if you not as comfortable, don't beat yourself down. You're good though, but I just want you to start practicing in your comfort zone. For once you can be in your comfort zone in order to grow on something else. That's what I want you to do. So guys, when you deal with conflict create the world. Conflict create growth, and I want you to grow. You need to grow. But assess yourself. How do you deal with somebody comes and you think like, I don't want to hurt his feelings, maybe. That might be the case. And for most of you, you're not bad though, but you're thinking about that person so much. You don't want to hurt that person's feeling. But honesty, for me, is the best policy. But there's a time and place to do it. There's a timing. You know, when I used to lose a game, there's a reason why we don't speak straight after the game, because you're too high on emotion. So you're gonna assess the situation. Dealing with conflict doesn't mean that you have to deal with the conflict straight away. When everybody is high on emotion, you know, everybody is like on the edge. No. Let the temperature come down, the atmosphere calm down. Let maybe the next day. Then you're gonna be honest with that person and you're gonna address it. Because as soon as everything is clear, you can only go forward. Don't say yes for the sake of it. Don't be a yes man. Don't just because you don't want to get into this conflict, this awkward situation when your heart starts beating. And if that's the case, your heart starts beating quicker and quicker. Take a deep breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you go. And go at your pace. It doesn't have to be quick, but be direct and express yourself. So that's your challenge of the day, guys. How do you deal with conflict? I want you, regardless if you're comfortable or not comfortable with conflict, I want you to practice it. Practice it within the weekend, today or tomorrow. Practice any problem or small situation, conflictual situation that you might have with somebody. I want you to practice the way you're going to sort that out. Assess the situation. If the energy is high, if it's high, calm down, let it breathe, let it go, and then come back to it, but address it. Don't let a couple of hours go by without addressing the problem. And then you come back to me and you give me your feedback, because I want to know. Because when you get on that green rectangle that represents your life, and your life only, we take what's ours. I want you to really take what is yours. It's there for you. I want you to go and get it. It's for you. You haven't stolen it. That's yours. Go and take what's yours. The power, the strength, the happiness, the ability to solve problems, the smile, the health, the wealth. Health is wealth. Guys, we don't only take it. We snatch it. You snatch it. Take what is yours. That was your homeboy Seb Bassong, aka Baby Bass. Whatever you're doing this weekend, I'm talking to you, my friend. I'm talking to you, my brother. I'm talking to you, my sister. Whatever you do this weekend, be great. Be amazing. You are wonderfully made. I'm telling you. I send you a message, you better catch it. I see you next week. Click, pass it around. Because we're not selfish. We pass the good thing around. And I see you next week. Have a great weekend. Tremendous game. Bye-bye.